G'day folks, Martin Lenihan here for Rugby League Week TV, joined by Tony Adams. Tony, South Sydney, one of the best wins of the year on Friday night. They were brutal against Manly. Now, a very happy problem for Coach McGregor. What do we do with this team with John Sutton coming back in and Keary and Reynolds killing it in the halves?
Yeah, well, I've got to say, for starters, I think South can win the comp. And for a team that hasn't made a grand final since 1971, that just shows how well they're doing. And I think to get there, they have to keep these two young guys, Keary and Reynolds, in the halves. They look better, sharper now than when with their captain John Sutton in the halves. I think Sutton has to move to the back row, which is where he played some last year, a little bit this year. That's the future for the Bunnies.
Who do we squeeze out then to get John Sutton in the back row? Because that was a complete performance the other night. Chris McQueen, Origin player, young Kyle Turner looking fantastic. Who do we send away to get Johnny Sutton in the back row?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, for starters, poor old Kyle Turner, he's had a few head knock problems, so you might see him getting rested a week or two, which might solve the problem. Well, of course, then Ben Teo, he's heading to the UK next year, so maybe they just move him on a little bit early, let him play for the North Sydney Bears for a few weeks.
Okay, as we said, it's a great problem for Madge McGuire to have, and I think you're right, South Sydney are certainly on the cusp of something very special. Now, another team going in the other direction, unfortunately for them, is the Dragons. Now, everyone was talking up Paul McGregor, thinking that he was a shoe-in to get the coaching job. They've now had a couple of poor losses to Roosters and Panthers. What's the word on Mary for next year at the moment?
Yeah, look, as we know, this football's all about winning. Back-to-back losses at a time when the club's considering its future, not a good look. I think Paul McGregor, he's going to have to win some games in the next few weeks, otherwise the Dragons will look elsewhere. Tim Sheens' name's been mentioned. He has been talked about in dispatches at the Dragons before. He, of course, has that relationship with Benji Marshall, so that's an ace up his sleeve. So, yeah, it's one that we'll have to monitor.
Yeah, I think the Dragons may well be looking at a more of a senior coaching role there, would be taking a punt on Paul McGregor in his first full coaching job. They play Canberra this weekend, of course, and haven't won in Canberra for about 14 years, so a massive test for them down there. Keep your eyes on the Dragons and South Sydney.